Now that we've got the basics of the enrollment periods out of the way, let's dive into Medicare Part A. It's the number first list that you see on your Medicare card, and this will definitely jump up on you at age 65. Let's get right into what does Medicare cover. Medicare is going to have two main parts, parts A and B. And the purpose of this Medicare chapter that we're taking up right now is we're focusing in on Part A. Part A is the hospitalization piece. Part B is your medical insurance, the outpatient stuff. I hope you got your pen and paper out and taking a few notes, because it's very, very important to understand how this works, because as we progress in our learning, I'm going to share with you little secrets on how to keep all of this coverage very affordable and yet still sustain great availability for medical services. Part A, the hospital insurance, is your room and board. It's all the good stuff. Any prescriptions that are being done in the hospital, in a hospital stay, is taken care of. The lab tests being done in the hospital as an inpatient as well. Operating room, skilled nursing facilities. Some of the blood transfusions are going to be there. Rehab services after a qualified inpatient stay. All of this is all wrapped up in your Part A. And you go, well, who's paying for Part A? Well, Part A is what has been paid for over the course of your working years. That is what your deductions and your taxes have gone to Medicare Part. A couple facts here. This is basically coverage nationwide. You cannot be denied coverage when you have your Part A. Go to any hospital that is taking Medicare. That will be the situation there. And coverage and costs are per benefit period. So we're going to have to be cognizant of the fact that if you jump into the hospital and get a deductible, you may have another deductible down the road later that year outside of that benefit period. So Part B is going to be everything about the outpatient stuff as we go along. But let's jump over into I'm going to refer to you to your Medicare and U book. Medicare and U book is going to be on page 25. If you look it up, page 25, you'll see there, that's where it's starting to cover all the details there in the hospice. There's the inpatient care that we're talking about, and also skilled care as we see there. Let's do a little drawing, shall we? I'm all about making sure that you understand how things work, and I always like to draw. Not that I'm a good drawer or anything like that, but I want to make sure that we understand what Part A is. As we said, it is going to be hospitalization only. And so that's in the hospital, and there will be a deductible sitting there. And at the time of this recording, somewhere in the $1,700 per stay. If you check in, there is a deductible that is sitting there. And as you saw in the book there, you would see there that there is going to be skilled care after a hospital stay. And skilled care is going to be taken care of for the first 20 days by Medicare. And then from days 21 through days 100, there's going to be copays that happen as well. And you can refer to the book, the Medicare book, as to what those copays are, because they do change. But the good news is that you're taken care of. If you need to come out of the hospital and get some skilled care going on, you have the first 20 days taken care of for you. All right. And then lastly, we noted there, I'm going to keep it in red here, we have hospice. This is where hospice is taken care of as well under Part A. So there is Part A in a nutshell. Very, very clean, and there's no premium that you're paying on this, but there will be a big deductible every hospital stay that you go in, but it does include the skilled care and the hospice. Remember this too, as I said in the last chapter, that skilled care is not custodial care, right? So custodial care is basically long-term care, and they are different than each other. Right now, I do have a client that is moving from a skilled care scenario to a custodial care scenario, and it's good to know when does one stop and the other begin, all right? So there's your Part A in a nutshell, and you'll see that there on your Medicare card, and that is sitting there so that you can realize that's taken care of. Not a whole lot of choices there to make, but the good news is we're going to dive into, in the next chapter here, Part B, and that's where the details are going to come around. And then with that, we'll see you in the next little chapter on Part B.